Welcome back to the movement, everybody. Today we got a very special guest for you. I brought actually one of my fellow podcasters and my fellow entrepreneur, one of my brothers from the same place too. Jean-Claude Nasr. It's my fellow king. How are you, my friend?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man.
Habibi, we had all this great talks right before this, you know what I mean?
Man. We were warming up. How are you?
I'm great, man. You?
How are you, man?
I'm fantastic.
David Diabetes, my co-host. I completely forgot about him. It's my first time we're doing a co-host. You know what I mean? But one thing I do want to find out is, well, who do I look more trusting with or without the glasses?
Listen, without the glasses, if I were a girl, I'm afraid of you. And at the same time, I want you so bad.
I like that answer. I'll take both.
If you have your glasses on, I want to give you some money to invest in you.
You know what? Let's do it. So whenever we're at the gym, what do?
We take off the
JC's
glasses.
advice. What do? We take it off or on?
Off.
Done. It's
you don't want to be a nerd in
my glasses. That's the best part, bro.
You don't want to be a nerd in a shark environment, and you don't want to be a shark in a nerd's environment. So it's not like you have to blend. You do have to look unique in wherever you are, but you can't look like a very in the opposite way because you don't want to push people away from you.
One thing I give to you is I love how every time I see you, you're always dressed to impress. And a lot of people
I'm not
don't
dressed
understand.
to impress. I do impress, but I'm not dressed to impress.
I love that brown orange.
A lot of people don't do that, right? A lot of people day to day, they don't understand that whenever you walk around, you're a representation of yourself. So like, oh, you know what? Who might get a seat today anyways? You never know. Remember, we're always one conversation away from $1 million, right?
Oh, where did you get this one from?
Exactly. I have my notes. I don't play games here.
Listen, it's like how you pick your outfit. It's as important as how you pick your friends, as important how you pick your circles, because your friends, your circles, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend are representation of you.
Absolutely.
Same as your outfit. So it's not just about the outfit. Now I'm representing myself as a person. We can make money together. That's what the outfit says.
So then let me ask you this, JC. Where did you learn that? Did you learn that from a father figure? Was it something growing up? Or is it something you just started delving into when you got into the realm of
My father
business?
still doesn't wear a tie till now. Like you need to force him. I love wearing a tie. I love wearing a tie. I love wearing suits. My dad only wears suits when he's forced to, like a wedding, a funeral, and you have to really force him to do it. But I learned what I need to learn for business from my dad because he is an entrepreneur. But I didn't just learn what he has. I looked at all his mistakes and I made lessons out of them. Because I knew I want to be better. I knew I want to be better than him. I saw some of his flaws. I saw the amazing lessons that he had. But I knew that's not enough. That's not what I want. It's not like, okay, that's what your dad does. Go do the same. No. I wanted to beat that guy.
It's the only man in the world that'll be happy if you beat him now. Eh?
Exactly.
It's your father. Your dad. Every dad.
Trust me, I've always had this feeling, and I told him, "I'm gonna beat you." And now he's so fucking proud. And I tell him, listen, remember when I was 9 and you did this in front of me in the market when I was in the market with him? I did this yesterday. He's like, how? I tell him the story. I role play how I closed the deal, and you can see him. He wants
his eyes are like
he's like fucking hell. Like seriously, he would take me with him 9 years old, 10 years old to the vegetables market in Lebanon, where you have to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to do the deals because the farmers are bringing all the produce at 2 a.m.
Yep.
We used to wait on the door. There's a big metal door and you open the door and then all the trucks will race to the stores. And now you're unloading the trucks in the same time you need to buy. You wake up at 8 in the morning, you take the leftovers. So you have no choice. You have to be a hustler. So I would wake up with my dad at midnight after sleeping at 6 p.m.
Is that where they came up with the early worm gets the bird first?
Exactly.
From the Lebanese farm markets?
We would wake up in the morning, man, and drive to Beirut, 2 hours drive a night. We're both yawning, drinking coffees, whatever, eating donuts, whatever. Show up, wait on the door, not show up when the door opens. Yeah. Wait first, and they open the door, and then we chase after the market. The market is fucking hot, and you still need to negotiate. You can't just bid and take the expensive stuff. So,
are you there to offload your product? Is that what he was going to do?
So we used to sell and buy. So there is seasons where we used to be the sellers, and there are seasons where we used to buy. So my parents, my grandparents, they're all farmers. My uncles,
nice, me too.
But not all season is farming season.
Not all Arabs are farmers, I guess.
Not all seasons are farming season, though. Some season you farm, some season you sell. And we used to have a grocery store too.
Good.
Yeah.
Is that where you started learning a lot of the customer service and stuff
My
like that?
dad opened a grocery store so my brother and I can learn business. And that's exactly what happened. We
Wow.
were 10, 11 years old. We were in charge of the store at 12.
Very
We
good.
started at cleaning the floor.
Yep.
Then started at holding. Now we were promoted to hold the bag for the client. So follow the customer and let them put the cucumber in the bag and just greet them. And
What a
shake your
different
head.
environment culture compared
And
to
then-
there, and if you become the farm boy here.
then the only earnings are the tip.
Yeah.
There's no salary.
They give you a tip there?
Yeah, but you have to earn it. It's not easy to get a tip from Lebanese. Everyone know it. And my dad refused to give us salaries because he
Yeah.
wanted us to learn that you need to work really hard to earn the tip, because the tip is the actual money. So the profit, not the salary. So he implemented this in our head.
That's very
Like,
good.
you're not
man.
going to get a salary. You're not going to earn anything. You're not going to go home with money unless you actually not beg for it, but do your best to get it.
So would you say like that's where your drive started?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
I always talk about having a strong father figure in the life. You know what I mean?
You need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need it. I used to go to bed. My dad, I hear his keys coming home and wake up. He's already gone to work. I don't come back home for my dad to have 3 hours conversations with me. How did this kid hurt me in school? No, I had a dad that always showed me work hard.
It's crazy how when you hear these stories, you can always relate. Because my dad used to work from 6 a.m. till 2 a.m. every single day.
Yeah.
As a cab
And
driver.
that's why you're sitting on this fucking chair like a fucking boss.
You're not.
You're not sitting with 5 therapists now trying to figure out who bullied you when you were 2 years old, and that's why you're destroyed right now. You know?
You know what? I find a lot of good bullying actually builds character, but depending on how far the bullying goes.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with you, man. A lot of people are growing up really soft. Everyone's just so emotional. Everything comes down to emotions. I have zero emotions when it comes down to business and getting things done.
I had this example on my podcast the other day. I asked a guy, I have 2 options. Your kid is bullied at school. Comes home, what would you do? Be vocal about it, call the president, blah, blah, blah. Or talk to your kid, tell him, go figure it out on your own. Go talk to your bully, go do this. Give him some tools to figure it out. Not like ignore him. You can't just ignore him. You gotta pay attention to what's happening with your kid, but you can't take actions. You have to teach them how to react to those situations.
So what would you do? I'm your
and
son.
crying,
I come home. I'm coming up to you.
What did this guy do?
What? He's bullying me. He's making fun of me in front of everybody
Why did he feel confident to bully you?
because I'm weak. I'm weak as fuck.
Why are you
That's a
weak?
fact.
What made you weak? What makes you feel insecure that you can't defend yourself? What makes you feel insecure that you allowed this
I'm
person
scared to
to
get hit.
empower you? Huh?
I'm scared to get hit.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should have taught you how to defend yourself. Let's go get you some membership.
You
at
know,
some
you know
gym.
what? Let me
Beat the fuck out
let me
of
tell
me.
you guys something. This is what my mom told me actually when I was younger.
By the way, that was very hard coming up with examples, man. I've been
Yeah.
fearless most of my life.
Yeah.
It'll be easier when your kids grow up and go to school because they will be exposed to this to these circumstances.
Everyone's
Let me
gonna
hear
get
about
exposed
the
to
mom's opinion.
So I came home one day and some lady actually hit me at the park. Some lady, I was going down a slide
Interesting.
and I guess her kid just stayed at the bottom of the slide. And when I came down, my feet hit them. So then she came up to me and she like hit me.
Really?
Yeah, which is insane.
Here in
And my
Canada?
mom, is like a Moroccan, like my
I
mom's
would have
not
been so happy.
she's
if I
not a
was
small
dad.
lady, and neither is my aunt. My aunt is like 6'2". My mom, like they were both, and they're Maghribi, So anyways,
Yes.
I tell my mom this lady just hit me. And she's like, what? So she goes over there and handles it. I don't want to talk about that, but she handles it. Then she comes back to me and
She
she's
beat
like,
her up.
She put her in a
I'm not going to say she did that or
She
didn't
made
do that.
Arm
Moroccan
bar.
oil out of her.
So I'm not going to confirm or deny that. But she looked at me and she told me, she's like, if somebody hits you, like you hit them back. If they don't hit you, you don't hit them. You have to defend yourself because
That's
like
a fact.
people will feel the need to push you over, and that translates as an adult. Because as you get older, people won't take the physical approach, but they'll take the verbal approach and do verbal kung fu to bully you. So you got to be able to defend yourself.
With my dad, it was very confusing. So I'm not allowed to come back home beaten up. I'm not allowed to come back home if my brother got beat up, unless I beat up the other people. In the same time, if I beat up or I defend myself, I'm in trouble.
Oh my God.
Fuck's
man, I
sake,
swear to
dude.
God,
There's no
it was
winning.
all the
Pick
same.
one
no winning.
side.
There's no
Dude,
winning.
pick one side. So one time, we had a massive fight in school. in high school, massive one. I beat up like 3 older guys, whatever, and they actually tried to bully me.
Yeah.
They tried, like, they were jealous or whatever. We still have those guys till now, like they're haters for some reason.
I love the haters, by the way.
So I love them too, but we used to deal with it when we were younger with our fist. We didn't we didn't treat it like in a more mature way. Anyways, I really had no choice but getting into the fight. Trust me. Come back home. No, I called my dad from school. Hey, that's what happened. You have to come to school. Come there. Okay, my dad is asking the minister to expel me for 3 days. He's like, the guy is like, the president of the school is like, it's not JC's mistake. We know whose mistake. He's like, no. He shouldn't have hit them.
Who is your dad saying this?
Yeah, my dad's telling this to the
That's
president
like,
of the
no,
school.
punish him.
You have to punish him 3 days. The guy is like, okay, whatever, if that's what you want. But 3 days expelled to home. My dad had planned, the motherfucker. In those 3 days, I worked 15 hours every day.
Good.
And he was on my head. But at the same time, if I came home beaten up by those 3 kids, I would have been like embarrassed. He would have told everyone just to make fun of me. So all this stuff. It makes sense. So it's not, you're telling your kid, don't go and fight and defend yourself all the time and always use your punch. But also, don't come home weak.
It sounds like your dad
There
wanted
is a
that.
better approach for it.
Bro, it
Like,
sounds like your dad wanted that 3-year suspension no matter what. You wanted those 15 hours of free labor. That's clause. You win or lose, I want a 3-day
Trust me, he
suspension.
got it, man. He got it.
I was going to say, you really wanted that 45 hours
He wanted
free,
that.
bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
he got it. Fuck.
He lost the fight?
I still
3-day
remember.
suspension immediately. I want it regardless. You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, you know what, man? It's tough. It's tough. It's crazy because if you think about it, this generation's what fucked up everything else.
Yeah. But
Because
now-
we're raising the kids now, right? But if you think about it, your dad, stern.
Yeah.
But what happens as soon as you get younger, as soon as you have your kids and then that kid has kids, it's, I want to give that child the life I didn't have. So what do? They stop implementing all the hard things, the hard lessons in life. I want to give them the easy way. I want to pave the road for them. And then what do?
Fuck no.
Exactly.
I'm
And then what
buying
do?
a farm now because I want to raise my kids on a fucking farm.
Good.
I'm not raising them here,
Good.
surrounded by losers.
I'm telling you, my sons will take over anyone else's sons in a heartbeat. If that's the road they're going to take, because I'm going to let my son know. Life is not easy. You know what I mean? You got to work for absolutely everything.
It doesn't
Same way
get
your
easier.
dad did.
Yeah.
But remember, that's the advantage nowadays, is because nowadays everyone else is raising their kids. No, we're going to have to teach them to be soft. It's
Well,
okay.
like,
My
you
kid
get
is going to be
lazy
so lucky, man.
parenting.
It's going to be an easy game.
I don't know though. To
You
be
don't
frank,
need to be
like,
shark.
if we look at how our parents raised us, like, and how it is now, it could be looked at as a regression or like progression, because the way we raise our kids is not going to be the exact same way.
To
Our
end
parents
it forward.
are fobs. You know what I mean? Like the
Sure.
way they raise our kids is very different.
No, but it's the life lessons that you take from them.
Life lessons, but let's say like, whether you have a son or a daughter, they come home and like there's some like bully tactic. It might not always be like go beat his ass. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think
it
it's
might
pretty
be,
universal.
I don't know.
I
bro.
think it's
Like,
pretty universal.
It can send you. It's a sword with 2 ends, you know.
Yeah.
it
It's a
can
double-edged
be
sword.
really good. It can be really bad, and we've seen these examples. Like, how many of your friends are in jail right now?
Yeah, how
Why do you
many
think?
people end up being
What do
way
you
too
think?
aggressive?
They're in jail because they didn't take what their dads.
I thought
gave
it was
them.
asking me. I'm like, listen, my lawyer's not present. We're not
Yeah.
talking about nothing.
No,
But I
like
think- I think
how many people we lost and they're in jail now, or like they're in trouble, or like they have some addictions and whatever because of very tough parenting. We're not saying be very tough as a parent, but give tools, don't solve their problems. If your kid is going through something hard, don't try to solve it for them, because no one is going to solve their problems when they're
That's a
adults.
fact.
But on that point, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to parenting and like establishing that toolkit for your child, because they don't know better. They come to you and they look for solutions to the problems, and you got to give them the toolkit. If you only enforce like a violent toolkit, like
Why
go
would
beat 'em up.
anybody only enforce that?
No, but I
Makes
mean, like
sense.
if you're always like, yo, like this kid does something to you, like khalas, moeto, then that's always going to be their thing. And then it might translate to them getting older and choosing violence in certain situations. Like you get the people who go to the club and they're drunk and then they resort back to instinct. You know, at the end of the day, if you're in a panic situation or if you're in the wrong state of mind, you go back to either your basic training or you go back to your instincts. Those people will instinctively choose violence and not think of the repercussions.
I
instead
agree
of
with
just
you.
walking
I
away.
believe in the psychology. You know what I mean? So first of all, if my son was to be bullied, I know we've been talking about being bullied for a while, but you know what? I think it's a good conversation. A lot of these kids, they should hear this stuff. You know what I mean? I find a lot of it first is intimidating your opponent. So if someone's coming to bully me, it's not going to work. Why? Because you have to have a strong presence. And you can't just, it's not, oh, everyone's born with it or not born with it. It's something that you can build, but a lot of it comes from good parenting and strong fathers.
You know what? On that exact note, don't choose violence, but be capable of violence.
I love that line.
You know?
Joey,
You know what I mean?
don't you get bullied right now? From an employee, from a client?
Yeah, all the time.
In any scenario when you got bullied, why did you get bullied? Because you allowed them to.
I don't get bullied now, but I'm just going with your thing.
Let's say a client is giving you a really hard time and trying to be not fair with you. That's bullying. Why? Because at some point you bent over for them. So seriously, I don't think, and I've never seen a bully in school bullying a confident person.
Never.
Or a strong person. So first thing, your kid is being bullied. First person to blame is not the bully, not the school, yourself. I'm not raising this kid. I'm not giving them enough confidence. Why my kid is not very confident?
That's a tough thing because, like, let's say with even like a client chooses to attempt to bully you. You can't choose, like, they're going to attempt it.
If you choose your clients right and you give them the actual, that's how I work. You will like it, you like it, you don't like it, fuck off. They won't bully you. Before they say a complaint, they will think twice. They will say, am I fair? You have some clients, they will just start shooting shit at you. And then you have to explain yourself to them. Those clients, you don't want to work with them.
But those clients, you can choose to say, you know what? We're not the right fit.
Exactly. But I learned this the hard way. Trust me. So from the beginning, when you're interviewing each other, before you get them as clients, tell them exactly how you like to be treated. Tell them exactly what's the culture of your clients that you like to build with your clients. And then they will know, oh, this guy doesn't like to hear my yawning, so I can be their client. So don't chase for the clients, just matchmake it. It's like matchmaking. It's, you know, when you go to Rolex, they don't sell you stuff. If you say how much, they kick you out of the store. They don't say, oh, I'm looking for this, I need to buy. No.
I love how you looked at my wrist for a second. You was trying to double check if I was wearing one or not.
They match make your personality with your watch. That's what they do. So now the client and provider, service provider or product provider, if we're not a match, we shouldn't exchange business.
Absolutely.
It's not just sell, make money. Because you need this person to bring you clients. You need them to, to be your referral machine, because that's the cheapest and the most effective sales strategy.
100%,
right?
I agree with you.
There you go. So if this person is not a match, I just chased them for this first paycheck because I wanted the deposit, I needed the cash.
Yeah.
This person is gonna do the opposite work. They're gonna push away so many more clients.
You're 100%. That's
so
100%.
when I first started my business, I want to close everyone. Everyone. Oh yeah, boom. My goal is to sit you down, manipulate the shit out of you to sign right now. Right? And I could do it, and I did it. But then 2 weeks later, I enjoyed this paycheck. I enjoyed the deposit. 2 weeks later, fuck, me and this person, we can't meet.
Yeah, here comes the problems.
And then I end up losing lots of clients because this person talking shit about me. It doesn't mean I was bad or he was bad. Me and the person, we weren't a match.
No.
His personality is not like mine. It's not like, forget about personality, about my company's policies.
Yeah.
Right? Forget about me. My company is my company. Me is me. So it's the same thing with everything, man. Look for your match. Marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, work, employees.
Absolutely.
If your employee's value doesn't match the company's values, it's not going to work. And it doesn't mean the employee is bad. It's just not a match.
So how do you go about hiring and firing employees?
Hiring and firing. That was a big learning curve for me. I'm still learning. But I can share with you some mistakes I used to do. I used to see how much the person has skills. How many skills you have, your references, your older employer was happy with you, just like by the book. You know how they teach you, call the references, make sure. Now it's a way different strategy, man. I look for someone unhappy at home and I create a safe environment for them at work. So they escape every time they run from home to come to work. Because I want someone who can't wait to go to work, not can't wait to go to home. They're very happy at home and every day they're so excited to get back home. They can't wait for it to be 5 o'clock and go back home.
Is that a strategy across the board that you do?
This is not just this strategy. Sometimes you have great people that they can add really good value, but sometimes, and we go through this in Ottawa especially, none of the resumes matches with what you're looking for. None of them.
There's a lot of finesse nowadays.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Basically, still, people don't have the same skills that they used to have 20 years ago anymore. You look at resumes that people applied for the job, they know and you know that they don't match the job description that you're asking for, you still have to sacrifice. You still have the probation period is not 3 months anymore. You can't expect them to start making you money from the first 3 months. You need to invest in them for 6 months, but you have to invest in the right people.
Yeah.
You have to invest in someone you can actually coach, and you can actually make them a person who's excited to come to work, who's have smile on a Monday. And you can't expect them to offer you this. You have to implement this. But implementing in coachable people, not in like people that you can't improve. So I ask questions in the interviews, like more like psychology questions, man. I role play. I tell them, you're a supervisor. I'm your employee. I showed up 10 minutes late to work. First time. What do you do? Let's role play. I'm the employee. Do this. Because everyone can watch a YouTube video and know the right answers and give it to you. But role play.
That's a fact.
Let's role play. Let's role play. Now, I'm not prepared. Boom. You're out of here. On the phone, there's strategy because you don't want to waste your time having people in your office. There's questions you need to ask on the phone, like ask them stupid questions, see how they would react to it. If they answer a stupid question, they're stupid.
Yeah.
Give examples. Context.
A stupid question?
I love these ones.
Yeah,
because he's absolutely right. It's literally a curve that you're always continuously going over a hurdle every time.
And not following that whole surface level questions depth is important to really understand who you're working with. Because you're right, it is matchmaking.
I'll give you a example on role play that I play with my interviews. So I tell them I'm late, first time, 10 minutes. What would you say? And I showed up and I didn't make an excuse. Just I walked in my office, hey, good morning, and walked in there. And there's another situation where I said, I'm sorry, there was traffic. So what would we do with the first scenario? Where I gave an excuse. I gave an excuse. Okay, that's good. Don't do it again. Make sure next time you leave early. The second one is I didn't give an excuse. What would you do with this scenario? This is a tough scenario. Well, if you say, it's their first time I let go, you're not an actual leader. Because if you're allowing them to do this the first time, they're definitely doing this again. You have to heal it before it's wounded. That's what we say.
I love these Arabic proverbs.
Right? So
they have so much context.
Yeah, you gotta heal it before it's wounded. If let's say 3 times in a row, 3 weeks, you were late, what would you do now? I sit you down and I talk to you, you're pussy. You're not a management material.
You're gone.
You can be a soldier, you're not a captain.
Yeah.
Because it's never the soldier's mistakes. It's always the captain's mistake.
You go down with the ship for a reason.
Yeah. So role plays like this, like you gotta have like 10%, 20% assholeness in your personality to be a manager.
You can't be a people's pleaser, especially if you're in business.
No.
Especially if you're trying to be
you can't be afraid
position.
of making someone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's, people pleasers are not just good people. Are people afraid to receive rejections.
That's a fact.
People pleasers are not good people. It's not like, oh my God, they have a kind heart. No, they're just afraid that you will reject them.
They're afraid of confrontation.
They're too weak to receive rejections. They're too weak to face rejections. That's why they kiss ass. Right? If you are an actual good person, you don't mind facing rejections.
There also might just be the insecurity of not being confrontational, because a lot of people aren't confrontational, or they're worried about confrontation.
They aren't,
so
because it's insecurity, because they don't have a defense strategy.
Yeah.
For me, I have a different view and opinion about confrontation, for the fact that I feel like a lot of people view confrontation as something negative. It only has a negative annotext into it. If you're going in, like as an example, like if someone's not fit for your company, right? Why would you want to waste, if JC's your boss? I'm not just saying, I'm just giving an example. JC's your boss, right? And then you're doing a terrible job, right? And he comes to confront you about, and you already had your talks. You already had your coaching lessons, all that. Nothing is working, right? So now it's time to part ways. A lot of people have a hard time, I find, with firing. I don't know about your views on this. I'm going to ask you this one right after. It's a tough one for a lot of people. The way I look at it is I'm showing mercy, because at the end of the day, instead of stringing you along, giving you hope that there's some grand thing that you want to achieve in this company, instead of wasting your time, I'd rather set you on your way, because it's not working out here, and maybe there's somewhere else that you can go that's waiting for you, that's more of a fit for you.
That transparency is extremely important, but when you look at it like from a societal standpoint, so many people are just so anxious when it comes to that. Obviously, as a manager, you need to be able to do that. It's part of the job. When you look at anxiety levels over the past decade or half decade, and how it's risen and people are just nervous, any sort of confrontational environment, some people just avoid it, like try to completely avoid it. Whether that's like a yes man, or if it's someone that will push that to somebody else to do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, can HR send that email? Or like, hey, I don't want to have that meeting. I'm going to do it.
A lot of people
on
don't
my-"
have the goals for it, that's for sure. But that's why I wanted to ask what your take on it.
Never fire an employee if you have a business in Ontario. Never do this.
I know exactly where he's going to go. I hate the fact that he's going to say it, but say it.
Yeah. So never fire. So this one, I learned the hard way. So I'll tell you what I used to do and what I do now, because, you learn. And I didn't come from like a corporate background where someone taught me properly how to do this and mentored me.
Yeah, the politics are...
Yeah. Oh. So, and I came to Canada 5 years ago. Like in September, it will be 5 years ago.
Wow.
I drove Uber a year and a half, and then I started businesses after. I didn't work in a company. I didn't get managed. Like from this to this, and I have to figure it out. Never hired a mentor when I was at that point.
What a goddamn journey. Eh?
Anyways.
Bro, that's one hell of a climb on the ladder, bro.
Because I heard that they can sue you even if you send them 3 warning letters and then you fire them, they still can come at you, and it will be still, the judge will be still on their side. Because in the culture in Ontario, the employee is the poor little guy and the employer is the shark guy who's taking advantage of the little guy.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that's how it is in Ontario. Not in Canada, all of Canada. This is how it is in Ontario. So I heard this one. I'm like, I'm never firing an employee, but I'll make them fucking quit. I'll make their life miserable until they quit. And that's what I did for a long time. I've never fired an employee yet.
Oh, I can't wait to see the comments on this one.
And then now what I do is I make them realize that they're wasting their future with me in a nice way. So I sit them down after trying so many times to improve our relationship and improve how I can make your life better, how you can make me more money. That's what my job as an employer is, not paying your payroll. Your job as an employee, not to just make me money or like mark the hours and deliver what I'm asking you to deliver. My job as an employer is provide lifestyle for you, provide a healthy environment in work, healthy personality in you. I need to improve you as a person, not just pay your payroll. Mm-hmm. Employers can't just pay payrolls for employees. They're not robots. They're people that you're seeing every day. You're exchanging energy with them every day.
Absolutely.
But if I get to a point where I can't exchange with you, you need to go. So the way I used to do it again, I used to make their life miserable. Be on top of their head, manipulate the other employees to come at them and hate them, and then they can't come to work anymore. They will resign the second day. Trust me. Done this many times, and then I didn't feel good about it. I won. I've never been sued by an employee, by example, but I won. But then I don't feel good about it because I can't look at this person's eyes on the street if I see them again. Or I always feel this guilt in my gut, like I could have handled it better. Because I always want to improve, right?
So handle it better.
So how I handle
Instead
it,
of manipulating
stop doing that.
how I handle
Stop
it
it,
better.
JC.
How I handle it better. We do accountability calls every Monday, but it's not accountability calls. We don't call it accountability calls, but it is accountability calls. Call it team meetings every Monday.
Yeah.
And we have 3 things we have to go through, each one of us, the whole circle, including me. What were the wins from last week? What are the challenges that I faced last week? And what's the goals for me next week? All these calls will be enough for this employee to realize that they don't have wins with you. And then at some point, they will be like, I'm not winning. And then you sit them down on the quarterly meetings, and you sit one-on-one and you tell them, listen, we did this call. And you see the wins with this guy, wins with you. Why you're not winning? Why you always have more challenges than wins? Am I doing anything wrong? No, you're not. You're doing your job. Okay. Who's doing something wrong? Me. They start blaming themselves. What do you say there? Because you want to get rid of them, right? No, don't blame yourself. Maybe you are digging in the wrong hole.
I actually thought he was going to self-accountability.
I thought he was going to self-accountability
I swear
too.
to God.
No, I'll tell them.
JC.
Stop it. Bro,
because now I want to get rid of them. I don't want to hold them accountable. I want to tell them that you're not guilty.
You were selling me on a story.
You're in the wrong
ready,
place.
bro.
I know. You're like, man,
You're at the wrong place. But I don't want to tell them this in a way where I'm rejecting them. I want to tell them this as like, hey, man, I think if you work at a gym, you don't work here, you would have way more wins every Monday than you have wins here. And the way that they would receive it the best, trust me. they will
So
resign the second day.
you'll suggest it.
Holy smokes.
and this
I
is
can't wait to see the
this
comments.
person will come
Regulation.
5 years after and they will thank you because you're not manipulating them. You're solving the problem in the most peaceful way. You're actually also think that they are at the wrong place. If it didn't work and you're doing your best to make it work, that means there's no stupid people.
Yeah.
There's no stupid people. Everyone has a talent. But if you put your talent in the wrong place, you won't excel. You will lose. It's going to make you a loser. So many people, they see they have talents and they show up to work, they try, and they're not getting anywhere because they're not directing their talents in the right way. And so many times I had talents in my team, I didn't know how to manage and I lost. I lost so many talents.
I can agree with that. You want to create a thriving work environment for people. And if someone doesn't mesh in, it's better to have a transparent conversation about it so that.
Yeah. I personally find, it's funny, I learned this from parenting. And this is me being a child of my parents because my parents treated everybody the same.
Yeah.
Everybody, my parents
Quality.
were, my
Because your
mom
parent tells you, treat people like how you want to be treated. That's the most foolish shit. Foolish shit.
It was funny. The dynamic at home was my dad was the sweetheart. My mom was the executioner. I hope my mom's not watching this episode. I know she's watching. You know what I mean? I love you, Mom. She's 4'2", and she's able to flip me on my ass when I was 230 pounds jacked.
Fuck.
And I asked her, how did you do it when I was play fighting with her? And I saw the ceiling, and she's like, you know that line, eh? أنا خلفتك أنا بربيك, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one of the things I realized, my brother and myself, God bless my brother, were nowhere close to being the same. But if you treat us both the same, which they did, one can handle a lot more pressure than the other one can't. But my brother is a brilliant guy. That's what I've realized. When everyone has to be custom tailored to, and what I mean by that, I'm talking about leadership. If I'm gonna mentor somebody, I know where I can push, where I have to pull. Like I study him, you know what I mean? As I'm sitting down with them and I'm learning from them, I learn where to push, where to apply pressure, where to pull, where to challenge, how to pull back, where to give. You know what I mean? Where to allow yourself, because I find a lot of people, if you just do the same across the board, it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong, it works. But to be excellent,
Yeah.
that's when you come with a custom tailored solution. But think about it like this. Do you treat every business the same?
Absolutely. I have 4. And I
That's
can't
not
be
what
the
I
same
mean.
person
That's
in
not what
every
I mean.
business.
That's not what I mean.
Maybe
Like, think
maybe
about it
in
like
terms
this,
of
right? If you're a
I don't know,
marketer, right?
You can't compare the two though.
Right.
Like
If
business
you're a
and people.
marketer, no, you can't. Absolutely not. But like you're a marketer, obviously you have revelation marketing, right? Is every niche the same? You can tackle them the same, but how you deliver to the same niche, is it always the same, or is there always a custom tailored way that it goes into that niche?
The big title, the big thing is always the same. It's matchmaking. Marketing is matchmaking. Again, but how do I introduce the clientele to the product is different.
That's
Depends
exactly
on the
what I'm
product.
into.
But it's always, how can I bring this guy to this guy, or this service and the person who wants to receive the service.
I just feel like
But
we're talking
that's
about it. We're talking about it differently. Like when you compare to a business, you're talking about streamlining the process and having a process.
No, you can't have the same marketing towards every single
No,
product.
no,
on
but
everything
the
across
streamline-
planet. Everything has to be marketed correctly to the right
For
consumer
sure,
base.
but the
And it's
process
same-
can be the same. Like the process can be the same in terms of like research and then introducing and then going into the product. Like that can be the same timeline, but then done differently within the timeline.
Exactly. So what he's trying to say, you have a product.
I get what he's saying.
Exactly. You have a product, you have a survey, you have a receiver. You have to do the research. What did this receiver receive before? What would they like to receive? What
That's
are
right.
the keywords that they use?
But in terms
so
of
you
people,
have to
though-
do this homework on every product, but the actual conclusion after this studies, it's always different.
Yeah. In terms of people though, I don't believe in a cookie cutter process. Every individual needs to be treated like potentially differently because everyone's different.
Yeah,
So the
understand the
approach-
personality types and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah. So like in that sense, 100%, like how else could you do it? If you treat two people the exact same, you're not going to get
So
the same.
I would add something on this one because you have 10 employees, right? And they're showing up to the same roof every day,
Yeah.
same office, and you're treating everyone differently, you will cause problem. But
That depends though.
If you put
No, I
the
think
right person
let
in
him continue.
if you put the right person in the right spot, you don't need to treat them differently anymore. I'll tell you why. By example,
Go ahead.
I've hired the worst candidates.
Yeah.
I've made money from them. I've hired people no one would hire. And I'll tell you how I made money from them. I digged and I found their talents.
Mhm.
Listen, If you're a person who wants stability, who wants to show up at 8, leave at 4, I can't ask you to do more. I'll put you in a position where you work from 8 to 4, but I'll put someone to supervise you who wants to work more than I asked them to do. So now you are at a space where I'm comfortable with you and I know what you can offer me. So I will treat you the same way I'm treating the supervisor, because the supervisor is at the right place. But if it was vice versa, now I have to kiss ass this person because their personality is sensitive, and this one, you can't be nice to an employee and rough with another employee just because the other employee can handle it and this employee can't handle it. You can't do this. You need to be at a point where you don't need to react to problems, where you have very minimum amount of problems. How do you do this? By putting people in the right place. So if I'm trying to make something out of you and you can't get there, we will have constant problems.
I think what I was saying, you're absolutely right in a sense, because what I was trying to talk about is in coaching wise. In coaching wise, that's what I was strictly talking about, not on a day-to-day basis.
But even
day-to-day basis, when I'm sitting down on a one-on-one with you, right, I'll know exactly who I'm dealing with and how to deal with them. In terms of being sensitive and all that, I don't believe in all that stuff.
Okay, then
I'm just, what I mean by that is like some guy, he if you show him everything, he's more analytical. So he likes to see the numbers. He understands from math. One person understands more with being driven and challenged. You know what I mean? I think that's the kind of example.
That's confusing because, like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I agree with either one of you guys on this one.
It's tough.
I think with people, there's no black and white.
There's never.
I think it's completely gray. So you have to, like, let's say you have employees and I don't have employees. Let's say on a hypothetical, I had employees. You would want to establish, or I would want to establish, a human-to-human relationship with each individual where I understand how they work. And then I can, try to build out the most of them or kind of get the most out of them so that they can progress and not create a stagnant environment for them. Because a stagnant environment for them means a stagnant environment for the business, or in terms of progress, you're not going to get any progress. Stagnant. So establishing a human-to-human relationship, because if you treat an employee, no employee wants to be treated as an employee. Do you get what I mean? It might sound weird even though you are an employee, but nobody wants to be treated as that. So they want to be put in an environment where they feel like they're human. So it's about creating that bridge. Because even if you go to places that you consume from, you go to Starbucks, you go to any coffee place, even Starbucks, that's a perfect example. When you get your coffee, they don't treat you as a consumer. They treat you like a person. What's your name? I'm gonna put your name on your cup.
If you're at the drive-thru, they say, "How are you?" And I'm like,
"Yeah," or like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, what can I get you?
It's not just like they're not just selling, a great product, but they're also selling like the service. So it's like, as an employer, you'd want to sell that service where you're establishing a human-to-human relationship, and you're going to treat them as such, rather than like employee 1 or employee 2.
We're never gonna meet. I guess us and JC.
The employee is not a servant. So yeah, the employee doesn't want to be treated as a servant, but they have to be treated like employees. So what is an employee?
I'll give you an example of what I mean.
Employee.
Let's talk about IBM versus Google in terms of like process. Google has.
I really wanted to hear what he was about to throw.
Yeah, no, my bad. And I cut you off. My bad.
He was on something.
My bad.
I love listening.
I mean, like, I look at, like, let's say like the Apple campus in California, or like, the Google office spaces that they have. It's a completely different environment than the typical office spaces. They make it livable. They make it a lot more relaxed. Their timelines are shaped differently, and the way they communicate is different, right?
They're very task-driven.
Yeah, they're very task-driven, and they also empower the employees where they don't feel like they're employees. When they go into work, they feel like they can come in, relax, get their stuff done, compared to going to an office space where it's like 8 to 4, what are you doing? Where's your timesheet? Like, get it done. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different type of leadership with the same results, getting pushed
Let me
forward.
go back to JC.
I want to hear your part, like that you were.
Let's go back to JC.
So what I'm trying to say
like JC.
is you have to explain. That's what she said. You have to explain to your employee that they're not servants.
Yeah.
They're not there to serve and to go home. Every person, every human being on earth, even animals, they have one thing in common. They want to feel that they're needed. They want to feel that they're affecting on someone's life. They want to feel that I exist and I made an effect. I changed something. So you want your employee to feel like, hey, you helped us growing with this sector. You helped us growing, not, hey, you did your job. If you want to treat your employees as, hey, you did your job, they feel like servants. They feel like robots. They will treat you the same way. They will never improve anymore. So employees should feel like employees, but what is employees? Employees are members to help you to succeed, members to help you to grow. So if you're an employee out there, you're not a servant. If your boss is treating you as a servant, leave. Pick, also for the employees, they have to pick the right leaders. They have to make their values with the right boss. It's not who pays more. It's who appreciates me more, who sees my improvements more. And also another tip for employees, if you're an employee who do exactly what you're told to do and you think that's what's in the book. So let's say I'm giving the to-do list for my employees every morning, or like my manager is giving the to-do list. If I see that my employee is doing just the to-do list, he's a servant. If you're adding on it, naturally, that means you're asking me for a raise in an indirect way. So if you want to ask for a raise, start doing more than you're asked to do. So again, employees, they should be employees. Employers, they should be employers. But you have to really understand your position as an employee. That's what I'm trying to say. So like, we don't want to put the employees against the employers anymore. That's what's happening in Ontario. That's why we can't find employees. That's why it's very hard to grow. That's why people are moving to the US. You know why people are moving to the US? Real estate investors, big ballers, big bosses, construction companies,
smart money,
tow trucks. You know why they're moving to the US? There's illegal workers that they suck it up. You have a team. Dude, I'm in the US 5 times this year. Yeah. They go there, they start a business, they grow every month. The 10x, bro, every month. Why? Because you have employees that would say, yes, I'll do it. Let's do it. Yes, I'll do it. They do ask for a reward at the end of the day. They're all illegal employees, but they get to ask for a raise. But they don't have overprotection. They don't have a daddy calling the president of the school saying, why are you treating my kid like this? They don't have Employment Ontario. They don't have someone telling them, hey, telling the boss you have to pay for this therapist because you traumatized this employee because you told them that, hey, you did something wrong and this is a shit job. I tell people when I'm hiring them, when you do a good job, I'm gonna reward you. When you do a shit job, I'm gonna look you in the eye and with confidence and a smile on my face, I'm gonna tell you did such a shit job. I don't wanna see this again.
Yeah.
If you can't handle this, come tomorrow, you're hired. If you can't, get the fuck out of here. We are not allowed to say this or to act like this in Ontario.
Yeah, you're very
They
sensitive.
produce losers. They want Ontario a province full of losers so they can, whenever they set a rule, everyone says, yes, sir. Because we don't say yes, sir.
It's very tough on us, that's for sure. It's very tough on us.
Everyone's moving, bro.
Insane.
Like everyone. I had an interview yesterday with a millionaire. He has 5 businesses. I'm like, what's your 5 years plan? He's like, get the fuck out of here. And he was born and raised here. He's a 40 years old man.
You are punished.
I want to get the fuck out of here.
The more money you make, the more you're punished for.
And this guy was born, raised, and he is Canadian, Caucasian. It's not like, we're like originally from Lebanon and we would never be grateful for countries. No, I'm grateful for Canada more than Lebanon. More. Yeah. But as an employer, I feel like I'm attacked here.
100%.
I'm all constantly attacked with tax. Bro, like, you go to another province, like to Alberta, to Calgary.
That's not, it's more close to
the employers, you know how they look at the employer? Opportunity creator. You're the angel who's taking the risk so we can have jobs. That's why you start any business there, man. Lots of money. People don't know this.
I'm leaving.
People think it's a gas province. No. Tech there is there. They have better buildings than we have in Ottawa.
Calgary's
they
incredible.
Have beautiful city. I was there a couple months ago. The mentality of people, they're supporting business owners and that's why they're growing. Here in Ontario, you own a business. Right away, they look at you like as a shark. Yeah, you're rich, your employee is poor. Which I don't like this one. I don't like this one though. One time a business coach is like, what do you want, JC, from your business? I'm like, I want to own a business where every one of my employee can afford 3 vacations a year, can afford to buy a nice watch, nice car, and have a nice lifestyle. Yeah. And now that's what I tell my employees.
Very good.
Like I told one of my employees the other day, I was dropping her off at home and I asked her, I want you to go home and I want to give you homework for the weekend. Like, what's the homework? I'm like, I want you to calculate how much extra money you want to do some little things that would improve your mental health. By example, what would the lady want? Any petty every month instead of every 6 months. shopping at least once a month, where she can go buy at least 1 or 2 pieces. Go to the spa once.
Yeah.
Get this facial done. I want you to do the math and come back to me and tell me what's the number.
Mhm.
Comes back, she tells me it's $600. Okay. That's how you can make extra $600 a month. I give you the tool with me.
That's right.
So now I'm actually mentoring them to improve their lifestyle. I didn't ask you how much money you need to buy a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because you have a lifestyle, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
That's
You
true.
you eat like a boss, you walk like a boss, you talk like a boss, you'll make like a boss.
Yeah.
Right? If you live poor, eat sardines every fucking night because you're cheap ass.
Hey,
You
so,
don't
hey,
go
wait,
out.
sardines are delicious.
You,
I love
you
sardines.
won't
Who
make
the
this
fuck
money.
said sardines are delicious?
I'm Egyptian, bro. We eat sardines.
Bro, it smells like
Nah,
shit,
even.
bro.
It doesn't
You
smell
burp
great.
all night.
It
Bro.
doesn't smell
Either,
great.
bro.
It tastes good, but
Yeah.
once every 6
Yeah,
months.
no, not too often.
It tastes okay. It
Sardines
tastes
with
good,
crackers.
and it's healthy.
If you get good quality sardines, like with crackers,
I
they're
don't like
delicious.
fish at
There's
all,
no
I can
sardine
tell you.
that smells good. There's no sardines that doesn't cause you acid reflux.
But there are
and you're burping
qualities.
all
There are
night.
different levels of qualities.
I get it.
I don't like
I get it.
seafood, man. I'm out of that
Listen,
conversation.
if
It's
I'm
beyond
gonna
my
eat
realm.
sardines, it's lots of garlic, lots of pickles,
I thought you liked
and
the shrimp.
a glass of wine.
Thought we could
Shrimp couple times. I don't do any of this fucking seafood shit.
Really?
Bro.
Isn't it crazy? He's Lebanese and
that's
doesn't like
crazy, bro.
seafood.
Nah.
It gives you the best boner, bro.
I heard. So what do you think I take
Trust me.
what do you think I take the orange gel pills for? You know what I mean?
You need,
guys
bro,
are
Some
wild.
omega-3s, DH.
Nothing
there for the
replaces the
taste.
natural, bro. Nothing replaces the natural. Eat seafood, dude.
You know what I used to do? I used to do it every Wednesday because I had to make it like a regiment part of the workout, but I used to throw up because I hated the taste so much. So I'd be like, fuck, now I got to redo this shit. So after I just threw up and forcing myself to eat fish, that's how much I fucking
They
ate
did a
fish.
study in one of the villages in Italy, and
Yeah.
they found out that everyone there lives more than 100 years old.
And then you
Because
put
of
on a
fish.
They think
seafood
that
diet.
their diet, 90% of their diet is fish because it's like an island. It's like they live on the beach,
Yeah.
on the coast, and like all they eat is fish because they have so much fish, and they live way longer. It's really good for the heart, for the
Kulina, bro.
blood.
We're all Mediterranean. I don't get
Listen,
how you.
man,
taking the
listen,
pill, bro,
man,
is
I'll
not
start
good.
off with a little bit of tilapia, maybe.
Eat some
I'll
white
work
tuna,
my way
dude.
up.
White tuna. It has
You
no
know what?
aftertaste.
I've been doing that.
Salmon.
Oh my God, that's the one place. I can't do pink.
Bro, if you eat good salmon, it doesn't have
He's
the
going to get me in
aftertaste.
trouble with these color
Soy
references.
sauce, put the right seasoning with it. Come on, don't be pussy. I hate when a man says, I can't eat this.
I'll do tilapia.
You don't eat fish. Like, if you don't eat oysters, I get it. You don't eat fish. Come on, man. Just like you're talking
I
like a
might work
vegan
with
now.
some tilapia. I do a little bit of tuna
That's
here
fair.
and there. Shrimp is
You were
nice.
you were liking the shrimp. You're like we barbecue
the way
shrimp
he did
is-
the barbecue shrimp, bro. I gotta give it to him, man.
There he
I
goes.
don't.
Thanks for the invite. You know, I show up with stuff in my hands.
Khalas,
I don't
next
show
time,
up
bro.
just
Next,
eat and
next time we
leave.
have barbecue, khalas,
You
bro.
know,
Of course.
I bring cigars. I bring Macallan. I bring
I wish we
tea if
could've-
you drink.
You're
green
talking
tea.
Yusuf's
I
language, bro. As soon as you
wish.
said cigar, he was like,
I
khalas.
wish. He was literally saying it to me, bro.
I
He's
told
like,
him
"If
I
it's
would come on the
cigars."
podcast if we can smoke cigars.
Yeah.
And then he's like, they're calling for rain. I'm like, okay, first time I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. I couldn't ventilate the place because of the logistics of the, of the way the thing
I
was
gotta
moving.
say though, what you mentioned earlier with asking an employee, like, you know, what kind of lifestyle they want to live and how much it's going to cost them, and then trying to implement that, bro, that's unique. There's a lot of places that do that, and to do that would probably be a crazy boost in mental health. You get someone that really wants to work for you.
Do you want to have a gala for your company 10 years from now where you're standing on stage wearing a nice Rolex, wearing a $10,000 suit, amazing shoes, your kids and your wife watching you with these amazing outfits,
That's right.
and your employees are sitting there, they're enjoying so much this meal,
Yeah, they're
that
happy.
eating because they only eat it once a year?
Yeah.
That's always happens. McDonald's employees,
agree with you.
they're always miserable.
Yeah.
The boss, fucking filthy rich. Do you want to be this person, or you want to be the person where your employees on stage with you, as confident, they can afford the same suit, they can, obviously they might not be as rich as you. Sometimes you're poorer than your employee because you're investing, you're gambling. They're not gambling, they're saving this money and they have different lifestyle. But yeah, I would never accept. Big question I ask when I'm interviewing. What's your lifestyle? Do you like spending? What's your views on money? Is your money there to serve you? Is your money there to please you? How hungry are you for money? Have you sold? Did you sell lemonade when you were a kid? You know, like these kind of questions. If you're not hungry for money, you can't even be an assistant. You know, assistant's the easiest job to do. Just getting orders, do this shit.
It's so
You have
fucked
to
up
be
you're
money
saying all this
hungry.
right now because I literally was just doing this the other day. It's crazy. When I look at JC, it's like a reflection. That's actually incredible.
Yeah, man. No, I hate. I don't want to be McDonald's. I don't want to be even
Oh, yeah?
Starbucks.
That's good.
Look at all these companies, man.
Yeah.
All their employees are.
Yeah, it's
I'm
corporate
like,
greed,
I
corporate
want
greed.
my doorman to have a Mercedes.
Absolutely.
It's I'm fucking about to end the pod, bro. I just can't do it. I'm so fucking stimulated.
Let me
right
get
now.
that. Take a break.
No, don't go
I need to
anywhere,
piss.
man.
Where's the washroom?
It's right down. As soon as you go down the
There's
hall,
so much coffee.
they'll go take a piss. It's crazy that he says that, because what was I telling Sean and everybody the other day, right? That I was going to show them how to invest their money and show them how to do all this.
Yeah, build.
Because I want them to live a better life. Isn't that what I was just telling you, Sean? All right. I want them to be able to do things so they can provide them with a better lifestyle than what we have.
Absolutely, bro.
Because a lot of business owners, what do? We look great. We look great and smell great, but a lot of people don't understand that actually it's rotten flowers behind them. A lot of people
you
don't know
gotta
that.
want everyone to strive. That's 100%, bro. I believe in the same thing.
Yeah, I believe in building people. Once you build them, they're gonna build with you.
Amen.
You can't do it with everybody though.
No.
You can't absolutely do it with everybody. Some people don't want the responsibility. They don't want to do it. You know what I mean? It's like I can give you all the tools in the world.
You gotta establish those relationships. You gotta have some transparency and honesty, and then that'll kind of just show itself, right?
I'm truly a believer. You give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man a fish, he eats forever. I'm a true believer of that, man.
Or you just hand him a net and he's good to go.
That's it.
That's it. Just put
I
that
remember
net
I
and
seen this picture, and the picture was it was a pit, and the guy was stuck at the bottom, and there was just ladders everywhere. And even if you have the right tools, but you don't know how to use it, they're useless to you.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna grab.
JuiceDudez is back.
Yes.
How did that come to be? Be honest. Where did JuiceDudez? Where does this idea
I
formulate
was
from?
driving Uber and I came up with the name. The idea, I'll tell you this on the podcast.
We're on the pod right now.
The guy gone?
No, it's okay. Khalas, he's
Let
going to
me
the
tell you
bathroom too.
something about greediness first and ambition. I was talking to another employee. She's doing amazing. Fucking great. Working way more than I'm asking. If I message at midnight, just because I don't want to forget in the morning. So I don't want them to answer at midnight. I just don't want to forget in the morning to message.
It's crazy how you have to add that on
Dude,
top. So
5 minutes. I get an answer all the time. Bro, she's not asking for a raise. She's not doing anything. I know she wants it. I know she needs it. I know she's struggling. So I'm like, I'm driving her back home, another one. I told her like this, what the fuck is wrong with you? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's been 6 months. You haven't asked for a raise. What's wrong with you? Why you're not greedy? Do you not love money? Yeah, I do. I just don't want to ask. I don't want to be that person. So, what do you mean? You think if you don't ask for something, you'll get it? You gotta ask for it. I told her, be greedy. Manipulate me to pay you more. Nag my head. I will never say no to pay you more, but I'll tell you, I want more from you.
bullshit. And she's going to come and tell you 100K. You're going to be like, relax.
No. I want more. You have to be realistic. But like, hey, when is my raise? You have to be there. Someone approached us on Instagram. I reposted it. They want to work for us for free.
No
they want to
way.
learn whatever. I swear, I have it here. And they started. But I called this person. I'm like, why do you want to work for us for free? They want to learn, blah, blah, blah. Why do you want to learn? You want to put it to work. I'm like, listen, how long are you willing to work for free? She is like 3 months. I'm like, no, that's too long. If I let you work for me for 3 months for free, I'm implementing this mentality that it is okay to grow slow. So here's what I'm going to do with you. You have 30 days to learn, and you need to learn fast. I'm not paying you any penny, and I have expectations in you. You say I'm going to deliver, you have to deliver, etc. After those 30 days, if you're improving, if you're coachable, everything, I feel like as someone's, treating the volunteer right and mentoring you right, I'm going to offer you a job. And that's what's happening right now. She started last week.
Oh, nice. It's
So
the current process.
greediness and ambitious has been, so if you're ambitious and you're actually like wanting more, it's being called in the Western world as greedy. And greedy, that means you're unpleasable and you're going to be miserable. And, that's a greedy person that can never be happy. They can never, no, there's a big difference. If you're greedy, you want more and you work for it, it's different than you're greedy and you're staying at home and you just want what other people have.
Yeah.
So be greedy. It's okay to be greedy, but work for it.
Want things,
Stop. Bro, like there is a reason why the volunteer asked to work for me for free for 3 months. There's a reason why none of the employees are asking for a raise. There's a reason why everyone's crying at home and not actually putting a plan because it's been advertised that wanting more is bad. Wanting more is going to cause depression. Wanting more is going to cause this, is going to cause that. Live like a hippie.
That's why everybody's going down
That's
south,
the
right?
trend now, dude. It's not a surprise. Everyone's calling and saying I'll work for free, or everyone is free. They feel ashamed to ask for a raise. It's not a surprise. That's the trend that they implemented in our culture.
Wow, we're in a completely different industry. I'll tell you, get into construction, it's a whole different
Yeah,
beast.
there's no chance in construction.
That's a
No
whole
one's working for
different
free.
beast.
No one is gonna be a construction and have tough hands and have a weak mind. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you right now, it's a whole different beast.
You can't be you can't go on the roof and work and risk your life and have a weak mindset.
Like one of the things I find crazy is look at UPS, right? Forget about construction right now, but look at UPS. They just signed I don't know if it's a tentative deal or if it's actually full blown because they're unionized. I think they have 150,000 members or 10,000 members. The full-time guys with seniority get $49 an hour. The guys that just started in the warehouse is $22 an hour in the US, right? Comparing it to minimum wage here and there. But in the end of the day, $49 an hour. Like if you could translate that to construction, it's insane what these guys are getting paid and they still want more.
Yeah.
I find it's the mismanagement of funds. You can just throw money in a black hole all you want and it's just going to sink. But if you teach them on how to manage their funds, that might go a long way. There's every side of the spectrum.
Do you ever try to tell your employees how they spend their payrolls and try to educate them or how to become
Absolutely. I was just telling them, bring your own fucking lunch.
Financially free?
Absolutely. I was just telling them to bring your own lunch.
You're not
Sean's
gonna
right
see
there.
that. You're not gonna see that in big companies though. You'll see
No,
that
because they don't.
in
No, the
small
big companies, they
though.
have it. The big companies, they have this they do, and I know lots of big companies, they do it, and I'm starting to implement this right now. They do monthly or quarterly coaching for the employees where they bring investment and financial professionals to just train these employees on something that's not relatable to the service that I'm offering. So I'm betting you as a person so you can come back to work more confident.
Right.
You think Pepsi doesn't do it?
No,
You think
I wouldn't
Costco
know.
doesn't
Like,
do it?
do you do
think Facebook doesn't do it? All these big sharks, they do it, but they
JuiceDudez
don't teach JuiceDudez every Monday.
Yeah.
My brother goes, buys lots of food. He makes sure every Monday meeting it's fun for the employees, but at the same time, I want you to share your challenges, your wins, and your future goals. And we just got benefits for the employees.
I saw that video on TikTok.
Right?
Yeah.
Like my brother's going above and beyond to provide a good lifestyle and good environment and good culture to the employees. Again, man, if everyone is miserable at your company, you'll end up miserable. You're exchanging energies. And you can't just expect them to be happy because you give them a job. Fuck you.
That's true.
You got to provide to your employee. They're like, I say I can't have a girlfriend now because I have 12.
Yeah, retention's important.
I have 12
I'm
employees.
still waiting for how the Juice Dudes came to be. Like, where did you think of opening a juice bar, bro?
So I'm the co-founder of JuiceDudez. I'm not the owner. I was the owner at some point, and then I stepped back to start my marketing agency. The story of JuiceDudez. No one have heard the story yet.
Share it.
My brother came to Canada and started working at a life insurance company. And then he wanted to go to school and finish his engineering studies because he started in Lebanon, 3 years engineering. That's what my dad wanted for him. Came here, worked in sales, and my brother is the most introverted person on earth. He hated the work. He made lots of money. He saved like more than 100K in 1 year.
Amazing.
First year and a half in Canada, working in something that he hates to
That's
do.
incredible compared to
Working in something that he hates to do. Bro, every week he's in a different province. He would take the shitty provinces because other agents doesn't want to go there. Life insurance. He was the agent of death.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good business.
But he couldn't do it anymore. Like he did it, he made money. He's like, I want to start my own business. I was doing Uber at the time, and he's like, let's start a business together. I told him, fuck no. I wouldn't do business with family. He's like, okay. He had a girlfriend at the time. He's gonna be pissed that I'm sharing the full story.
We want to hear it.
I don't care, man. That's the truth. He had a girlfriend at the time, and they decided, they came back and they told me, oh, I'll open a Filipino breakfast restaurant. There's none. They don't exist, whatever. Filipino breakfast. So I asked him, I'm like, how many hours can you operate as a breakfast place? He's like, this is how many hours. I'm like, how many hours are you paying rent? He's like, how many hours? I'm like, do you think that's a fair equation? Do you ever think you can make lots of money? You can be profitable,
Yeah.
but can you make so much money if you're paying rent 24 hours and you're providing service for 4 hours? it doesn't work. Like if you're fucking busy for 4 hours, Uber and everything, you won't make enough money. So he changed his mind. And then he's like, so what should we do? After like a couple months, he's still looking. He almost got back to finding a job. I'm like, you should start a cocktail business, like a cocktail in Lebanon. You know, cocktail here is alcohol, but cocktail in Lebanon, we call it smoothie, the Lebanese way or the Middle Eastern way, where you have a thick smoothie with fruit chunks on it and then cream on top and then honey and then nuts and shit.
I love
like,
Ashta, man.
I'm like, this doesn't exist. There's only one place maybe in Ottawa and it's shit. And the customer service is shit.
Which one's that, La Boca?
I don't know. So my brother and I,
no mentions.
my brother and I, we went to this place and like the guy was like, what do you want? That's how we were treated as clients, as a consumer, sorry. What do you want? Okay, you want this. Okay, here's your juice. We're sitting, we're eating the juice. No one's having conversation with us. No one's exchanging eye contact. No one asked, how was it? The juice is changing its color while eating the juice. And it was poured from a jug. I told him, yeah, I can do better. So when we owned the grocery store in Lebanon, I rented a spot from my dad in the grocery store. I told him I want to sell juice because I saw lots of fruits going bad. And, you know, and in between going bad and good to sell, there's a stage where it's the best for juicing. And we used to always lose this stage and let it go bad and throw it in the garbage. So I'm like, I want to buy this off of you, rent this spot from you, make the juice and sell it. So I taught myself how to make lots of juices and this cocktail. I'm like, I know how to make the avocado cocktail. I know how to make this. I know how to make this. I'll teach you how to do it. And you start this business. He's like, can you be my partner? I'm like, no. But I'll give you the recipes that I know. And my brother...
Oh, this whole thing wasn't to start it. It was just to help your brother start it?
Let me finish the story. And then he went, he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Came back, he's like, I won't do it alone. And he didn't want to do it with the other person because, you know, he found out that can't get along for business. So he's like, I'll go find a job. So my dad called me. He's like, and my dad is against us working for anyone. He's like, I don't want my son working for someone anymore. I want him to go back to school. So I want him to own his business so he have time to go back to school, whatever.
Yeah.
I need you to help. I'm like, no. I kept saying no. And he's like, please, I'm asking you to do this. You only have your brother there and you only have you. You don't have uncles. You don't have cousins. You don't have anyone there. You got to do it. You have to be there for each other. And that's what's good for your brother. So I want you to sacrifice. So I'm like, I told my brother and my dad, I'm like, hey, listen, I know it's going to be tough because me and you, we don't get along too much. My brother and I, we love each other, but we have different strategies for everything. The big title is the same. We both like want to grow. We both want to do this. We're both good people, but we have different ways to approach everything.
Yeah. So you guys are always fighting about it.
So I told him I'll do 6 months. I'll work whatever, do 6 months. If I'm not happy, I can leave the second day after 6 months. He can't ask me to stay one more month or one more week.
Yeah.
So in this 6 months, you need to have a team and you have to leave. You have to, you know, be good without me.
Yeah.
But I'll do those 6 months with you.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Was it?
I did my part of the menu part, and then my brother did such an amazing fucking work. We've never worked in restaurant business before. It's 3 years award-winning best smoothie in Ottawa, and
Incredible.
we've never worked in restaurant business before.
Incredible.
My brother started calling bubble tea suppliers, chocolate suppliers. He is the guy for this stuff. Me, I don't like doing this shit. I don't like doing the homework.
He seems very passionate on the videos, you know what I mean?
And he got the best recipes. He created the best recipes. He spent hours, endless hours at home, just creating the best recipes where it can be healthy, delicious at the same time. He took what I have and he also brought some new things and he made everything look way better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do this. I'm a salesperson. I have the ideas and I can put hours, but like I can't do the nerd's work. He is a fucking nerd. And then
that's where it paid off,
we
huh?
want to create a name. And then my brother is like, let's sit down and create a name. I'm like, I'm doing Uber at that time. I'm like, I sit down, I lose $30 an hour. I'm not going to sit down. And we started fighting then.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit, man. We can't make it work if you don't put time in it. I'm like, I can't think by sitting on the table. I need to be creative. I need to do things to be creative. So we came up with some names while you're sitting on the table. We didn't like any of the names.
What
and then
was the
one day
first
I'm
couple
driving.
names?
One day I'm 1 a.m.
Yeah, I want to know too.
I want to
What
know
are
the
some of,
first couple names you guys got.
like, you know,
those are always the most ridiculous
prototypes.
ones.
I seriously, the stupid ones I don't remember, but I remember one that was silly, but we made the juice dudes out of it. I was driving, picking up Uber, drunk people in Uber.
Yeah.
1 a.m. I calls him. He's like, what do you want? Wake up. I told him juicy dudes.
Juicy dude.
Juicy dude.
Because juicy is kind of silly and kind of naughty. And dudes is dude. Everyone uses the word dude in Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, hey, dude, hey, dude. So this fits with the culture because you always want to fit with the culture. And juicy is something silly. So people will laugh at this one and will match with this one. He's like, I love it. Finally, after like 1,500 names. But we need to make it less silly. I'm like, okay, juice dudes.
Yeah.
That's how the name came up.
Wow.
And I was driving Uber when I came up with the name. I cannot sit on the desk and be creative. I can't. I'm not that guy. He is that guy. I'm not that guy. We started working. There was lots of challenges.
Yeah.
Lots of challenges.
What was the biggest one?
Because we were both learning. We've never owned a business before. We've never worked for a corporate. Like when he was working, like he was working for sales sharks, not like corporate. And they teach you how to hire, how to fire, how to do this stuff. And we absolutely didn't get along. Absolutely not.
Oh, you and your brother know. Huh?
In business, we didn't get along. Like I would tell, like we agreed that numbers and recipes or whatever on him, me, marketing and whatever. And he would try to interrupt in the marketing plans. I'm like, no, you can't. And I'm not sharing this with you. And I'm like, listen, I want to keep you as a brother, as a business partner. I can. I'll stay on the side where I offer support and marketing, but that's it. And he excelled so much, man. He hired mentors, business trainers, and whatever. And like all what's been done, it's him. I make sure the place is busy and I do the best marketing. And this dude create a new item every couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah, no, if you see his TikTok videos, he does very well.
Dude, there has some competitors that started after us, but we were talking, my brother and I, we're number one. Number two is competing to keep number two.
Yeah.
They're not even thinking of going to number one.
Yeah.
They won't even, no one will show up and will be able to get to number one. I promise.
One thing I like about your brother, though, is if you do watch the video, he's in the business of creating experiences, right? You're always going to get paid. But if you see how your brother, obviously you're doing the videos, but it's very incredible. Like he's very passionate. He loves experimenting and creating an experience. And it's a very, very nice culture that he has with his people. Good for your brother, man.
120 investors, they asked to buy franchises and be licensees. He rejected the 120, not because he's not asking. He wants more. Like now we have a licensee on Bank Street and they're doing amazing. But there's 120 more that they wanted to get a license to start in Kanata, Barhaven. And my brother said no to all of them. Some of them, they did lots of work and they came and they did training and he rejected them. Why? Because tell him be rich and get 4 stars review on Google or stay where you're at, where you're good, about 4.8 stars, he'll pick the 4.8. All he cares about is this piece of art that he's creating. So my brother, I would always call him this way. You're Picasso. You're not the art gallery.
Makes sense.
You want the art to be loved and beneficial to everyone.
You can tell though.
I'm the art gallery. I don't give a shit about the reviews. I'm in business to make money. I do need to make the client happy. But if you're too hard to please, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Get me a client who is easy to please so I can excel more and go faster.
I agree with you, man. I found it very tough in the restaurant industry because if you try to franchise, and franchise is a great model.
Yeah.
But how the fuck do you have a real good control over the quality? That's why
you have
Mr.
to grow
Beast-
slow. There's the only one way.
No.
Grow slow. You grow fast, you can't.
Yeah, you're gonna lose something.
Well, look at
You
Mr.
go now
Beast.
to any shawarma place. Weight the plate that you bought today from the same location and waited the second day. It's different weight. If my brother have this in the store, he would kill one of he would kill someone.
Oh yeah, of course.
Listen.
The margins.
We have a system where when you deliver, and
his brother's more than
maybe he
fucking
wouldn't want
generous.
this to be released. So please, we can't release it if he says no. So we have a system where if he shows up to the store and he see that this person ordered more than 7 minutes ago, someone's getting fired. 7 minutes. You need to deliver. If you have 40 people lined up, you can't. You have to deliver in 7 minutes after you make the product. I wouldn't do this.
Fuck, I like this guy.
I would make money,
Yeah,
cash
that's
out,
service.
and leave.
That's service.
100%.
And go to any juice dudes.
Yeah.
It's not Starbucks where they ask you meaningless, how are you?
Yeah.
Or they call you your name. You see, come here, get your juice. It's not enough. They make a joke. They make you laugh. You see positivity in their eyes. It's not just like they're having conversation with you. they are having a positive conversation with you. They're making you happy, and you go maybe, and you ask anyone who goes. It's a great, but because he implemented this, he had time to do this. If you're growing so fast, you don't have time to control all these aspects.
No, one time you actually brought some Juice Dudes tests that I thought was incredible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, we had to sit down one day. The Juice Dudes is very good. I highly recommend anybody to go.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
JC,
My man.
I don't want it to end, bro, but
We could generally talk for
we
hours.
can literally do this for all day.
Talk for hours.
It's a pleasure to have you, JC.
My man.
Let me ask you one question though before we go. When it came down to the marketing and stuff like that, is that what pushed you into doing podcasting?
The podcast?
Because there's barely any podcasters in the city. Barely.
Absolutely. So I started business with zero knowledge. Zero knowledge in business. I thought I know everything. I thought I'm ready. And I'm glad I thought I'm ready. Because if I didn't think I'm ready, I wouldn't have started. I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
I did lots of mistakes. And if I didn't do those mistakes, I would have grew faster. But these mistakes were really valuable. Now, we have lots of students that they're dropping out of school and they actually want to start a business, but they don't want to be in debt for 10 years to pay back the school. They said, fuck the system. But they want to start a business and they don't have the infrastructure. And reading a book won't give it to you. And learning from YouTube videos only won't give it to you. So I decided to start a podcast where I interview only people who made it. The first question is like, when did you make your first $1 million? Because don't tell me you're successful in business if you couldn't make money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not successful in business if you have 5 happy clients. This is fuck you. You know, you gotta make money. And this is credibility. And I asked them questions about hiring, firing, how do you get the right employee? How do you get the right clients? How do you create the match? So the actual business education to everyone who's watching. I don't ask questions about me. I ask questions about this person and not personal. It's strictly business. So if you listen to those podcasts after when we release it, you think you're actually reading a book or listening to some business coach.
Very good.
The reason of this podcast, I'm part of 2 podcasts. Ottawa Podcast Studio, where we talk about business, and Reflective Odysseys. Reflective Odysseys is about mental health. So the main host is a psychologist, and I'm the co-host, and we interview people who's been through traumas. They overcame these traumas. And how did you do it? And how did you get into the trauma? What were the tools? The goal is to show and teach the audience there, if you have a similar trauma, you can do it. Look at this person, they did it.
Very good.
So these 2 podcasts, and it's a way to pay back for the community. You know,
I like that one.
I've been in Canada for 4 years. I've started 5 years, like September 10th, it will be 5 years. I started 5 businesses. I still have an accent. My English is still not good.
That's great, bro.
Trust me.
That's great for what he's doing right now.
Trust me, bro. When I first started my marketing agency, I can't handle conversation, but I had the confidence that I can close the client.
Yeah.
I sold the first website. I promised to deliver in 3 weeks. I don't know how to make a website, and I don't know anyone who knows how to make a website. You need to be psycho to start a business. You need to be foolish, and that's the message I want to send out there. What they're teaching you, what your losers' parents are teaching you, no, it's too early. You're too young. Or, hey, you're 40 years old woman. It's too late to get into business. Go get a job. I'm against all this. I interviewed a lady, started her business at 41. Now she's a millionaire. She bought a restaurant at 41.
Wow.
Very
She
good.
left the corporate jobs to buy a business. So the co-host was 40 years old and she was afraid to start a business. Now she's not afraid anymore. So it's not for men only. The business is for men and women. I also want to tell pretty women that you don't need to have an OnlyFans account or sugar daddy to make money. You have a brain. If you want to start a business, if you want to be successful, you're actually good enough to do it. You're not just good looks. Making money for ladies these days, not all the ladies. There's some amazing ladies, but most ladies now, they feel pretty if they go to the bar, they convince a guy to buy them a drink.
Good for you.
Buy
man.
your fucking drinks. Buy this guy a drink if you like him.
Yeah.
Why you're not on this side? You think man is controlling your life, but you're letting them buying you drinks all the time.
Well, I'm happy that you're doing all this, that you're giving back, and at the same time, there's a lot of good stuff that
We're
you're talking
doing
about.
our
Mental
best.
health. You're talking about how to be able to be an entrepreneur coming out. What I was trying to do is I was trying to understand people and have great conversations to talk about business and life and how to navigate through your lives. But the fact that you actually have them in different segments, incredible. I'll check them out as soon as they come out for sure.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're almost there. We need to finish the the full season first. We today actually later we filmed the last episode of season 1 from the mental health podcast. And the business podcast, we're struggling to find people, millionaires, who would accept to come to the podcast.
That's incredible.
First thing, because I'm bold as fuck and I have massive balls.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you questions that you're not comfortable with. I'll ask you like about the Ontario support for business owners, and millionaires don't want to answer this question because they're pussies. You know, the trend in Ottawa, if you make so much money, go buy a house in Rockcliffe and hide and delete social media and don't tell anyone how you did it. Because actually millionaires are hated in Ottawa, mostly. You're driving a nice car, people are looking at you like you're a fucking asshole. Or looking at you like you're a slave for your business. And that's
It's
an evil
crazy how
thing.
the city works.
Trust me, man. So they become these people who wants to hide and they don't want to exchange and they want to go live in California.
Yeah, they want to just move to the States.
Yeah,
California's
just move away.
finished.
So I go ask someone, like, you want to come to the podcast? Oh, no, I say on the private. Dude, you learned so much. You don't want to give back to the community to teach about business? One guy, I made a video about him. He's like, I think you're too bold. So your style, that's why I wouldn't come to your podcast. I'm like, dude, I'm asking you questions about business, not about men and women. He's like, yeah, he's just pussy. They feel afraid to sit across from me. And that makes me feel, oh my God.
That's funny because when I first, it's good that he said that, because when I first watched that video, I'm like, there's something behind there. What's going on here? But the fact that you're telling him it's strictly about business, it's not like I'm trying to pry into your private life.
He watched
That's
maybe a
very
couple
good
of my
context.
videos on social media and he saw that I'm vocal about a couple things that he doesn't have the balls to say it. And he's like, yeah, I can't sit with this person on the same chair. Fuck you. That tells me you can't handle the conversation.
Good for you, man, because a lot of people don't know how to be authentic anymore because they feel like, they're so worried about getting canceled. So the fact that you're putting yourself out there and you're like, you know what?
What's the
I'm
worst
gonna be
thing if I
authentic
get
with
canceled? Listen, I'm not going online and telling, oh, go fuck bitches, fuck people, knock people out. I'm not saying this. I'm saying, you want something, you need to work for it. I'm saying even employees, I give advice to employees. You want to get raised, you want to get promoted, you have to do this. I'm not saying you're an employee, you're a loser. No. You can be rich as an employee.
Yeah,
You just want more for yourself.
That's it.
But there's a strategy. You need to follow it. You can't treat yourself like a servant and then expect to be CEO or expect to be rich. And the only thing that I hate is like when you complain that life is expensive and you don't want to put in the work.
Get the fuck up and go work.
Do you know how many people I know, they work 35 to 40 hours a week and then they complain that life is not fair?
No. I don't know them anymore. I don't want to know them anymore.
35 to 40. Well, you know them. They're not your friends, but you know them. They're out there. 35 to 40 hours a week. I swear they look exhausted if they work 41 hours a week.
Yeah.
And they take the full weekend off sleeping. And they complain that they couldn't buy this bag. They couldn't buy this. Or they talk about a person who buys a $20,000 watch that they're braggers and they're materialistic and they're insecure. That's why they have to buy those watch.
It's crazy, huh?
This is big.
There's a lot of envious eyes out here.
I know.
Exactly. When you can't do it, you tell people, you start calling people names and you start prescribing prescriptions for them.
It's a
because you
coping
can't do it.
mechanism.
If a
a coping
business,
mechanism.
this is something big, man. I mean, I know we're going off time here, but if you're a business owner treating yourself and rewarding yourself with something expensive, you're being called that you like materialistic shit because you want to hide behind something. If you have, like, let's say a nice car, you have a small dick. If you have a nice watch, you don't have weak personality. You need the watch to approach people. Fuck you when you say this
Facts.
stuff. Dude, I've never seen a rich person saying this shit. Only a broke person.
It's only
person who can't afford it. Because, listen, we people, when we work so hard, we want to reward ourselves because no one is there to motivate us. But
That's a fact.
we reward ourselves with nice things because it feels nice. Bro, driving a Maybach is different than driving a Honda.
Yeah.
That's what we drive.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it feels different. So it makes us feel better for all the work that we're putting there. And we work hard just
That's
because
a
we
status
want to
piece.
get so
You know
much.
what? That is the hater coping mechanism and exists in every aspect. Whether it's like buying nice stuff or it's that person that hates seeing married couples. So they're like, oh, fuck marriages. Or hates seeing somebody with a girlfriend and they're like, oh, fuck girlfriend. Those people are just haters.
Have
and
you
they're trying to
seen
cope.
it? Have you seen a winner hating at the same time? No. A
No,
winner does
it's a-
not hate.
A
If you're
winner is
hating-
happy to see somebody else win.
Yeah.
A winner is happy to see somebody else win.
Exactly.
And that's how it should
and
be.
they go maybe learn from them or exchange
Absolutely.
informations with them.
Absolutely.
Anyone, like, you know how many comments I get on TikTok from an account called user number 1235555?
Yeah.
They're
Fuck
everywhere.
you. That one guy called me Andrew Late. I'm like, I wrote for him Kasimak. I wrote for him Kasimak.
Because you Andrew Late.
Yeah,
That's
because if you
hilarious.
call him fuck you, TikTok deletes it. I called him Kasimak. Kasimak means your mother's vagina. So listen, and like you're definitely broke. One guy, I answered him. I'm like, you're definitely broke.
Yeah.
You're writing this comment. You invested time to write this, so you think you can make me feel this way. You're definitely broke. And like, you know, you can't go viral honestly on social media if you don't get hating messages.
Oh, you need haters, man. I love the haters.
Technically, hate is stronger than love. So
Facts.
what we do with social media, when I want to get client famous on social media, I say something really offensive. So I make my clients say something really offensive. So Juice Dudes,
That's
you
a
can't
re-
say offensive shit.
That's a risky, you know.
So I'll
that's
tell you how to
a
do it in a
sword,
polite
eh?
way. I'll tell you how to do it in a polite way.
Yeah.
By example, Juice Dudes, we made a video about a fruit and we said this belongs to this country. Do you know how many people would disagree with you? This video got 60K views.
Oh, okay. I get what
It's
you
like,
mean. I get what you
where
mean.
did the Ashta come from? Turkey, Syria, or Lebanon?
Fucked up.
Dude,
I'm
this
glad.
will start a war.
Yeah.
But you didn't say something offensive, politically incorrect. You're still politically correct.
It's like the
Okay,
shawarma
I get
too.
that.
what
So
you
Alright,
mean.
this
yeah,
will
yeah.
get you somewhere on social media. Being polite and showing a nice product will never get you anywhere on social
Yeah.
media.
You gotta stir up the pot. I got you.
That was
Yeah, I
a
have to
good
serve
part, man.
Yeah.
JC,
We're ready to wrap up, man. That was
That's
great
it, man.
conversation.
That was
Thank you
great,
for
Absolutely.
you know we should do this more often.
100%.
Next time we gotta have some
cigars.
shisha, cigars.
You know
Trust-
what? With that,
I'm down next week.
With
bro.
that, we
Let's
gotta
pick
have a little bit of
restaurant
seafood.
again.
Down, bro.
we should have a little bit of shrimp. We should have a little bit of salmon. You know what I
Listen,
mean? We
if
should
you
do a
want to
little
do
bit of-
that, I'm more than down. We'll do
I'm
a thing
down.
at my house. I have the backyard set up now. We'll have some nice shisha cigars,
Oh, I'm down.
barbecue.
Listen, I'm a
Like that.
single dude. I do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want. I don't have anyone's permission to
Halas.
ask. Okay? Set a date. Let's do it a podcast. Eating in the same time, drinking. I don't know if you want to show drinking on the podcast or a cigar. Whatever you want, let's fucking do it. Let's sit again. I have so much more questions for you.
Yeah.
Listen, you're an accountant. Do you know how many things I didn't know about accounting when I first started my business?
We'll dive into
So
it.
I
yeah.
would really love to ask you 10 questions that would offer the audience answers when to start a business. You know, it kills me when someone start a business and they're trying to do their own accounting. Dude,
That's most
Crazy,
people.
man.
you need
You
first
fucking
thing,
lose so
I'll show you a
much.
conversation. A guy
Let
told
me-
me, I
let
want
me-
to start a business. Give me an advice. I'm like, go get a lawyer and an accountant.
That's a fact.
Then come back.
Let me tell you this. You know how many people fuck up from the get-go? I remember my brother owns a gym over in Little Italy, and he works with a lot of professional athletes. Do you know how many of these guys are incorporated?
None.
None.
Zero.
None. And they're getting it as
Professional athletes.
personal income. Even overseas, they have a contract overseas. They're working over there and they're getting taxed like UK tax, 40%.
But this person, in the same time, they graduated from the fucking business school,
But
and they didn't tell them go do your. They
won't- they
told them
won't
go
know.
do your own accounting. They didn't tell them go hire a fucking
I'm
accountant.
gonna
Don't
tell
get
you-
me
I'm like-
started on the fucking schooling.
So,
thing right
so
now, man.
wait, let's stop talking here. Let's schedule a date
Oh,
for
yeah,
another
we'll talk about it.
podcast.
We'll talk about it.
And let's
We'll talk
fucking do
about
it.
it.
Let's
Let's
do
do it.
round two.
That's it, man.
I'm round 2, round 3, guys. So
Hey, man, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you right now to the fullest.
Awesome,
All right,
man.
guys, you already
Let's
know where to
wrap
check
up.
us out. If you like the video that you saw, please smash that like button. Subscribe.
it, it's okay.
You know what I mean? Leave us a comment anyways. Haters and everybody's welcome. And till next time, brother.
Next time.
Habibi.